Good evening, everybody. How is everyone doing on this late Saturday night? Um, I am in a very cheerful mood because, well, you'll see why in a few seconds. But thank you guys for joining me here late on this Saturday evening. As promised, I said I would come on live on a Saturday night, so I had a project in mind, but then I said, no, I'm just going to scrap it because I really just don't feel like being, or I just wanted to come on and sew some scraps. And I just honestly didn't feel like being, how do you say, those feelings where you just want to do something, but you don't want to think too hard. So, yeah, it's been that kind of a week for me. So, yeah, let's just come on here and sew some scraps. And I figure we can if those of you who are crafting so late at night, maybe you just need some company, or you just need something in the background to play around. So I'm here. But let's do some quick shout outs here. We got Jim Bennett saying hello, and Jackie is here from Phoenix. Susan Leong here from, hey, my neighbor to the north in Los Angeles, California. Mary Jane Ellinger is here. Hello, Mary Jane. Suzanne Taylor is saying hello to everyone. Hello, Suzanne. Hey, Cam. Hope you're feeling better. And we got Zarina here. Hello, Zarina. Welcome to the channel. I don't believe I've seen your name before, but if I did, well, I'm sorry. But welcome to the channel anyway. Let's see. And we got Jackie here. She's saying hello to everybody. Hello, Jackie. Excuse me. Okay. Wow. And I think I got everybody. Well, at least for now. So maybe when the word gets around. Hey, Ms. Remo J. I see you there, girl. Hi, Barbara, who's just coming in. Hi, Eric. First time catching you live. Well, welcome, Zarina. Okay, so, yeah. Hello, Miss Sheila Willis. How are you today, or tonight, or tomorrow? I forget. There's different time zones with everybody, so. Is the sound too loud? I do see it hitting the red. Let me turn down the volume a little bit. Maybe that's just because I'm so excited that I got this thing done. And it's a miracle. So what am I going to be working on tonight? Well, I figure, again, like I said, I didn't want to create something where I had to think so much. So I'm just going to sew some string blocks, but I wanted to do a project of string blocks where it's almost like half square triangles. So you see how half of it is prints and then half of it is just this plain kind of tan color or a neutral color. So I figure if you want to follow along and do some or learn how to do this, I mean, it's not hard. I figure tonight will be the night to do this. And I have a project in mind, so that's why I'm kind of doing this. But I do have some news for those of you that caught the live on Tuesday night. Oh, sorry. You saw me struggle with this block number 8, the bouquet block for the farmer's wife quilt. And let me show you how it turned out. Well, if you've seen the post, you probably know how it turned out. So I finally figured it out. And I think, well, I'm kind of okay with the color, so I'm not excited to do this block over again. So I'm just going to leave it like this. I don't know if I'm actually going to use it in the quilt, but we'll see because I need more green colors. I don't have any green colors in any of the blocks just yet. So this is how it turned out. That looks like a good scrap buster. It is, Barbara. So what I did wrong, and let me kind of bring you a little see if that can, yeah, there we go. So what I did wrong is I figured if those of you, and I know some of you are also doing this quilt, and if you are using the templates, just be aware or be forewarned that with these templates, these two particular templates, or these two templates in particular, this is template number 7, and this is template number 8. They look like half square triangles. Actually, they are half square triangles, but be careful how you measure them. Because when I measured this template, I measured these two sides here and here, and I said, oh, this is a 2-inch square. So I thought I could just cut a 2-inch square and then just cut it right in half. No, that's not the case. What I figured out was the side, I don't know if you can see that, the side is in fact a 2-inch square. There, can the camera focus? It's a 2-inch square here at the bottom. It's also a 2-inch square here on the side. And what I did was I just cut it right in half. No, you can't really do that because the cut here is actually a 1/4 inch away from that 45. So if you are going to use, or if you're making this template, be sure that you actually trace out the whole template and don't make the mistake of, oh, I can make a 2-inch square and then just cut it right on the diagonal. Nope, can't do that. And that's why this piece in particular was not coming out correctly. So hope that helps. And I also did the same thing with this piece, template number 8. I measured, oh yeah, I saw that this was a 3.5 inch square, or 3.5 inches. This is 3.5 inches. Thought I could just cut it right on the diagonal. Nope. You actually have to cut it a 1/4 inch away from that diagonal 45 line. So yeah, don't make that same mistake that I did. And once I figured that out, the block was pretty much smooth sailing. But, well, to be quite honest, I don't do so well with sewing on the bias. So it did stretch a little bit, and it's a little bit misshapen. But you know what? I'll take it anyway. So that's how it turned out. Okay. I was kind of worried about the color combinations here, being that it's all shades of blue or green, or there's all different shades of green. If I'm gonna, well, I'm still on the fence on whether or not I'm really gonna do this block over again. If I do, I'm probably gonna throw in a yellow here and then make this a darker or brighter blue. But you know what? I don't have to redo it. I'm just, you know, or maybe I'll do it later on, redo it later on in the future. So, yeah. That is how the block turned out. So, and again, if you are making that quilt and you want to do that block using the templates, don't forget to not cut the diagonal right on that 45. You have to kind of cut it a 1/4 inch away. Sorry, I'm just kind of a little congested there, so just trying to cough it out. I know that sounds gross. TMI. Sorry about that. Let's see. Hello, Milena. Thanks for joining here tonight. Sound is good. Okay, thank you, Jackie. The sound is great. Okay, thank you, Suzanne. Yeah, I do see it hitting the red. So usually when it hits the red, that means it's too loud. That looks red. That okay. Love those greens. Thank you, Kim. Turned out great. Thank you, Suzanne. And everybody's saying it looks great. Oh, Jim's saying his vote is for me to use the block. Okay, Jim, we'll see how it goes. Hello, Denise. That's Denise Spigner. She's saying hello to everyone. And hello, Miss. Guess who it is? It's Miss Nancy. Hello, hello. Sin Forest says multitasking, listening, and having dinner. The black looks great. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sin. All right. Block's not black. Oh, the block looks great. Okay. I was like, what black? Spaghetti got in my way. Sin, please concentrate on chewing your food. Okay, so I'll be recreating this block. And I do have a quote in mind that I'm going to be doing with these. So I got a few of them made. Well, a few, I mean 2 for now, I think. So there's a bunch more that I do have to make. So I am using, again, my good old-fashioned newspaper here. Kimber says 3 of the grandkids are sick. I'm praying that I don't catch their colds and ear infections. Ooh, Kim, please stay healthy. Drink lots of orange juice with vitamin C. Okay. Hi, Joy T. She's waving hello to everyone. Don't like those odds, Kim. Yeah, those are very bad odds. Okay, so to start off, let's see. And this is how I do it. I'm not really, I wouldn't be claiming to have the authority on how to start this. This is just my way of doing it, and it works for me. So, what I do is I want the seam between the 2 halves. I want that seam to land right there on the center, or right there on that 45 diagonal. How ironic. I tell you not to cut using the template with the 45, but I'm sewing right on that 45. Go figure that. Anyway, so I want the seam between the 2 halves right there on that center diagonal. So in order to get that, here's what I do. I will take my foundation, and this is the Magic Wand ruler by Studio 180 Designs. And let me switch the cameras to go a little closer. So if you have one of these, this is actually a very handy ruler to have for marking like your half square triangles, if you want to mark that center line, or if you want to mark a 1/4 inch away for your sew lines. So this ruler in total, it's a 1/2 inch wide. Sorry, it is a 1/2 inch wide. There is an etch line right down the center that you can use that to actually measure out your 1/4 inch. Or you could actually just use this to just draw the line right there on the center. But sometime when I first started quilting, I used to use this ruler to do half square triangles. And instead of marking my line directly on that 45 from corner to corner, I would actually use that center etch line and make sure that the etch line lines up here, and the line that I draw is actually where I would sew. But in this case, the line that I just drew there, again, putting that etch line from corner to corner, the line that I just drew, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my fabric, my strips, or my strings. Let's see, where's the other one? Okay. I'm just going to take both of them, put both of them right sides together, and I'm going to make this edge, since I'm right-handed, I'm going to make this edge match it right to the line that I just drew. And we're going to sew a 1/4 inch. And when I do that, that seam should land right on top of that diagonal. So let's see how well I do. Sorry, let me back it out again. Here we go, so you can kind of see the sewing machine a little better. And whoops. Let me line this up a little better too. So what is everybody working on tonight? Or are we just joining in for the chat? It's been a busy day for a lot of us because I know a lot of creators went on live today, being that it is a Saturday. Whoops, I'm going off course. Move it back. Oh, what happened? Am I out of bobbin thread already? I guess I lost bobbin chicken. Let me see. Huh, what do you know? Empty bobbin. And I know I have another one here somewhere. Where is my bobbin? Going on a bobbin hunt. Going on a bobbin hunt. Okay, this is live. Of course, it has to happen on a live. So you get to see me use my bobbin winder here. Okay. Now, if you've never seen a contraption like this, this is a separate bobbin winder. This was actually, when I bought my long arm, this was one of the perks that they gave to us, was that we have a separate bobbin winder. Now, this Juki machine that I've been sewing on, it does have its own bobbin winder, but right now the belt is a little worn out, so the bobbin winder's not catching and it's not winding. So good thing I had this on hand. I do have to take this to, or I do have to change out the belt. But you can watch this if you've never seen a bobbin winder like this before. And wound and wound and wound and wound it goes. And I think I lost a bobbin because I know I always have a spare, but now of course when I'm on live I can't find it. And stop. I will pull it off. And there's my bobbin. Nicely wound. Okay, now I can unplug this device. Put it back. Oh, and of course, as soon as I wind a bobbin on live, there's my other bobbin. Oh boy. What are you gonna do? Okay. This is reality TV on YouTube. Or reality quilting, maybe. Okay, draw up the bobbin thread. Cut that. Cut that. Okay, let's see. Let me pull out the strings here. Sew on a piece of scrap for a little short while just to get the stitches going. Ooh, something got tangled there. Not there. There we go. Okay, take two. Now, the paper in this case already got perforated, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to tear it out later anyway. But we shall reset and we shall sew. Ah, thread snagged. Now we are having all sorts of problems here tonight. Okay, let me just... rethread my needle here. Do, 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 do. Got it. Whoops. Gotta pull the thread through. Oh. If you don't have one of these devices, this is a manual needle threader that kind of is in the shape of a dove. I got this from years ago from one of those Sew Sampler boxes from Fat Quarter Shop when I used to subscribe to their box. You can find these on Amazon, but if you don't have a machine that has an automatic needle threader, these are a lifesaver. And you can also use these on long arms too. Okay, take 3. Let's see if this finally goes. There we go. Okay, got it. So there, the seam kind of close to the 45, not directly on, but it's good enough for me. So I'm just gonna press that back and let me snip off all of this excess here. Finger press that. Where's my roly-poly? Roly-poly seam ripper? Or seam ripper. Seam roller. Ooh, squeaks. Ooh. Okay. Somebody needs some WD-40. Okay. Now we just keep on building the strings. after that. So I'm just gonna sew this one to one side. Okay. And whenever I do these, I usually do two of them or multiples at a time. So I'm going to get another one started. And I see the chat has been rolling, so let me go back. See if people have been asking questions. Let's see. So Kim says she's just relaxing in bed and watching the live. I have mending to do tomorrow before the kids leave. Uh-oh. And healing, probably. Gayla Walters. Hello, Gayla. Glad you made it here. Bob and Chicken. One Eric. Yeah, I lost that one. Just listening tonight. That's Jackie. So tired. Assembled my new ironing station this morning. Congratulations there, Jackie. I am jealous. Finished up a Cotton Cuts mystery quilt block this afternoon. Still playing catch up with the month. Okay. And Susan. Oh, where did it go? Sorry, the chat just jumped on me. Okay, so Suzanne says she's putting on the borders on a quilt top. She just finished. Kim says, yesterday before they got here, I hemmed 4 pairs of jeans for a friend. Wow. You want to do mine? No, I'm just kidding. Joy T says she's laying in bed, lurking, and watching you create. It's midnight here. Well, thank you for joining us so late, Joy T. Barb McKinley says, I spent the last 3 days at the VFW making quilts for Vietnam vets and for the Honor Flights program. I'm just listening tonight. Okay. So you've been busy, Miss Barbara. And Zarina says she's working on a Missouri Star flower chain quilt. Ah. Jackie says, I have a Singer bobbin winder. Use it mostly with my embroidery machine when I need matching bobbins. You know, having a separate bobbin winder is, well, first of all, having a machine where you can actually sew and wind a bobbin at the same time is very, very convenient. But if your machine doesn't have that feature, you could get a second bobbin winder. And some of these bobbin winders are very excellent in that it does wind up, like this one I do find winds up the bobbin really tightly, so you can get a lot of thread on there. I need a bobbin container. That's what I need. Okay. I'll make it with this green. Start this one with the green. And where's my white container? Well, I'll just use this for now. So, ooh, this is really wrinkly. Let me throw it on the... Okay, just hit it with the iron real quickly. And I will lay that on there. Lay this one on. There we go. Oops. It's raining scraps. Hallelujah, it's a raining scraps. We'll press that back. Okay. Let's see. Jim Bennett says I have little fish threads, but my machine has a threader. Oh, okay. Hello, Miss Melina. And Denise is saying, oh, she's talking to Miss Barbara. Sinforce says I would put both pieces of fabric on the front, flip it over, sew it from the back where I could see the diagonal, then open the seam and continue piecing from the front. Yeah, you could do that as well. So what she's saying is instead of me drawing the line, like how I do, you could actually just start over with the back and lay your pieces down. Let's see. Actually, let me do this piece of paper since this one is not marked. Lay your pieces down, just kind of over that diagonal line somewhat. Oh, let me iron this piece. Yeah, this will be good. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this piece down here right over the diagonal. Lay this piece down right there over the diagonal as well. Flip it over. And I'm going to sew kind of corner to corner without the line marking. Let's take this to the sewing machine. And this will work just as fine as well. Good thing about this technique is there's no markings and you can kind of adjust it as you go along. So let me just sew off of that. And then where did my piece of scrap go? Oh well, there it is. And then you can flip it. And then it's right there on that diagonal. And then you can just continue on sewing your strips or strings. Cut off my excess. Okay. Just gonna finger press it, and here comes roly-poly. Uh-oh. Yeah, he definitely needs some oil. And there we go. Amazon has the Dove needle threaders. So thank you, Jackie. I'm sure they do. Sure, Eric, I have no problem doing that. Okay. Sorry. I like the pre-wound bobbins. That's what Jim is saying. Okay. So, let's see. You know, it's amazing how much of this green fabric that I got. I'm so done with this that I just need to use up all of these scraps of the green. So, okay. Let's see how many blocks I can get done tonight. Whoops. So, see if I can get all 4 of these. I got them all going. Okay, let me do... No rhyme or reason to this. I'm just picking some fabrics out and just sewing them on. So press it back. Cindy Carp is here. Hello, Cindy. She's saying that she's working on her first quilt with Minky back, slippery, stretchy fabric, adding more stabilizer strips. Ooh, I've never sewn with Minky. I heard it's not exactly the easiest fabric to sew with. So I give you credit for doing that, Cindy. Let's see. What other fabrics do I have in here? Ooh, there we go. Here's one. Oh, that's my iron board cover. Oh, string got caught around the foot. Let's snip that and snip it there. There it is. Now it came loose, so keep going. And snip that off. Okay, so Denise Spigner says, the method you use looks easier and faster. It's just personal preference. However you want to start it is basically, well, that's really your choice. I do know that some people like to just do the method where you just lay it and sew it diagonally. Sometimes I struggle with that, honestly, so that's where I will use a ruler and mark the line for me so that I can line the fabrics up. But, this is one of those quilts where I'm not going to care if it's right on that diagonal or that center diagonal. So, you do you. That's all I can say. And if it works for you, it works for you. No, I am going to straighten up this here, though. Because that edge is a little jankety. All right. Now, of course, a lot of people don't like to use newspaper. They will use, or they will use some other type of foundation. There is specialty papers that you can purchase. I personally just don't find them any better, but some people swear by them that you can, when you tear out the paper, it doesn't rip out your seam. I've never really had that problem. There's some people that will use muslin as their foundation. There are people that use, there's all sorts of things you can use. Phone book paper, in which someone very generously, and I think she's here tonight. Yeah, she is here tonight. She very generously donated a whole phone book to me, in which I do thank her for. So I'm just cutting off the excess there for a second, and I can throw this in my crumb bin, in which now my crumb bin is growing. And I want a little piece right there. Oops, sorry about that. Let's see. Yep, that'll work. I'm just gonna sew a little bit of a crumb. And that's where I used it. No rhyme or reason, no color matching. I'm not even paying attention to the types of fabric I'm using. I'm just throwing it on there and sewing it. And that is the benefit of doing a block like this. Jim Bennett says he used to get cheap printer paper. Printer paper is another good choice. No. Okay, well, I'll save that strip for later. Let's use... Ooh, okay, this is a very narrow red, so I'm probably going to have to sew... Yeah, I'll use it. Probably going to need one more piece, or overlap this red. There we go. Now I can flip that back. The red. Okay, and then I can stitch on more of my neutral or my white colors here. So I will take that and snip that off. Did I make it? No, obviously not. And let me grab a piece of crumb that I know will fit. I'll use this blue. Ooh, I love that color blue. Put that right side together. Okay, so this begs the question, and if you type in exclamation question, well, this is what I put down on there. So what is your go-to block in terms of getting rid of scraps? Let's see, exclamation question. I forgot how I worded this. Yeah, what is your favorite scrap project? Do you like sewing strings? Do you like sewing crumbs? Or do you just like cutting them into pre-cut sizes? I do all three. Choo-doo-doo. Right now, I've just been on a kick of sewing some string blocks, or using up my string blocks, which is a good thing because, well, it uses up, or it keeps my these two containers in check so that it just doesn't overwhelm me. I know there are certain quilters and crafters that have like oodles and oodles of scraps fabrics that they sort of curate and collect instead of using it up. So maybe this will motivate some of you to use it up. Oh, I love that sound. Let's see. Pot holders and placemats. That's Jackie's favorite scrap project. Crazy quilt block. Oh, okay. You know, I never made a full quilt of a crazy quilt block. Wait, did that make sense? I haven't done a full quilt of just crazy quilt blocks. You know what I mean. I've done a few of them just as like side small projects for pot holders, or if I wanted to just make a bag out of them. Never done a full quilt though. Jackie says all my scraps go into gallon bags. Wow. I got containers here. Ooh, long strip. I don't remember where I even got this one. Huh. Oh, wait. I need a white. I need the white. Okay. And I'll cut this one down. Ooh, almost got the corner. Not quite, but almost. Let's see. Jim Bennett says he likes to make scrappy blocks and make them into wonky stars. Kimber says my go-to block is either string blocks or log cabin. If it's 2.5 inches square or 5 inch, I like to do the 9 patch. Sin Forest says strings, hands down at strings for me. Okay. Serena's asking, what is a crazy quilt block? Do I have mine somewhere? Let me show you. Or you can actually you can Google it, Serena, but sorry. Let me see if I can find mine. Whoops. Let me see. Do I have it in here? I know I have it somewhere in here. It's got to be stashed in here. Here it is. Here's one of them. So here's one that I created as part of a series of videos that I was doing using scraps. Notice that it's just, wait, is this the back? No, that's the back. So basically it's just scraps of fabric sewn together. What distinguishes a crazy block though is how you embellish it. So what I did here is just use up some very, used up all the decorative stitches to kind of embellish it a little bit. And when I get this particular quilt all put together and sewn together and quilted, I'm going to stick some things like this turtle, this pin, just kind of sew it right down there, right on top of the quilt top, So I've seen a lot of people use buttons to embellish a crazy quilt. So it's really fun to make if you you know, you got a lot of scraps, you got a lot of crumb pieces. You can kind of like just go wild with it. I used a lot of crumb pieces to kind of create the center here, and then I used my longer strips to kind of round out the edges or kind of square up the edges. So crazy quilts, you know, it's just it's, well, I shouldn't say random fabrics, but it's fabrics, different fabrics kind of sewn together like a crumb block, or even like these strings you could use, or you can kind of be creative with it and create a crazy block. But what distinguishes a crazy block is whatever decorative stitches or embellishments that you use. This is the time to get out your embroidery. Use that. If you have a machine that has one of those 80,000 stitches or 80,000 decorative stitches, this is the time to use it up. Okay, so this is one example of one. You can, again, just go on Google, do a Google search or search the internet, use the Pinterest. There's lots and lots of different examples out there on the internet, so hope that helps. Is that going to cover it? Yeah. Let's see. Jackie says, my daughter likes my pot holders. She rates my stack when she needs a new pot holder. Okay. Lori Clark says, I don't have scraps. I only finished one of 4 quilts. I have tons of fabric waiting for the right pattern. Well, Lori, get ready. Because the more quilts you create, the more scraps you'll collect. And if you want a scrap stash, I'm sure somebody will be happy to donate to you. Okay. I got one little piece there. Ooh, this was part of the Christmas collection that I used up. Okay, no, I don't want to use it for that small. That's a little too tan. Won't use that. Here we go. Yeah, that'll work. Broke a thread. Tonight, you know what? Let's not let it bother me. Need to rethread it. Needle threader. Okay, got that going again. Let's just sew on a little piece of a scrap piece here. Just to get us started, I can disconnect this one and Okay. So we'll press this back. Press this back. Okay, so this one is completely covered, so I'm gonna iron this. Okay, and let's get the others started. This one didn't finish it. This is a nice pop of red that'll fit nicely right there. Ba-ba-da-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba. Got number 2 done. Sinforce says all my scraps propagate when I'm not looking. Yeah, they seem to multiply very magically. I thought I started another one. I guess not. Let's do one more. I said I was gonna try and make 4. So let's start with this one. And since I already marked the since I already marked my line, I'm gonna just use this. There. There we go. I know this blue will fit. Yep. That's interesting. I have to try that. Give it a try, Zarina. It's actually a very fun block to make where, you can just let go of all your inhibitions and just sew. And, I mean, how do I say this? The more crooked you make it, the more funky you make it, the better the block looks. Rent's been paid. Thank you. Thank you, Sinforest. She's given the thumbs up. Let's see. I can choose to use this. Oh, this is a big patch of green, which will be perfect right there. And I'm not going to care that it's on the bias there because, again, this is just a string quilt. There we go. And let's see. Okay, let me hit the iron because the tension on this one is a little bit flexing too much. I'm going to use this brown strip again. Cut it here. Whoops. So, Lori Clark says, I think my OCD would kill me doing Scrappy. I have to learn to give it up while quilting. I used to be the same way, Lori. Once you give it up, though, you don't look back. And I gotta say, it's really freeing because, you just let go of all of your inhibitions and you just start having fun sewing. Now, for beginning quilters, I will say this, though. When you do a strip quilt... Oh, did I catch the seam? Yeah. When you do a strip quilt like this is actually a very good way to practice your 1/4 inch seam, because even if it's not a perfect 1/4 inch, the block will look okay anyway. But as a beginning quilter, when I found out about string quilts, this is how I practice my 1/4 inch seam. I just made a ton of these, so... Sorry, I just wanted to cut that strip because that was a really wide strip, and let me cut the excess off of here for a second. And I will just use this. And we shall cut this or trim it off there. I think I need a new pair of scissors. These scissors, well, these are Dollar Tree scissors, by the way. No, wait, this was from Costco. In a 3-pack for 20 bucks. Cheap scissors, but they did the job. Oop. Woo! Snip. Finger press back. It's very monotonous. Ooh, this is going to be a very dark block here. Let me just kind of trim the edge here. Welcome to the dark side. Now, of course, I didn't have to straighten up the edge there, but it does help. Then again, I never claimed to be straight anyway. Oops, did I say that out loud? Yeah, I did. Sometimes I forget the microphone is on. Let's sew. Boom. So Susan Leong says, I guess I have been lucky to use scraps in other new quilting projects since I have material to use. Okay. And Jackie says, I've been sewing scrap strings into fabrics to use for indie hoop mug rugs. Well. Hello, Miss Becca. How are you? She says she can't sleep, so she's decided to come in. Okay. Well, welcome to the live. Lori says you come to the right place, Becca. And Jim says sleeping is for wimps. Okay. Well, I don't care if I'm sewing these two fabrics or the same fabrics right next to each other. I'm just going to use it because, again, half of this is going to be neutrals and the other half is going to be the print. So I just want to use up all these neutral fabrics. Don't you just love that sound? Barb McKinley is asking Eric, how is mom doing? She's doing fine. She is very, very excited because my brothers, and they didn't tell me about this. I had to find out from a mutual friend or a mutual family friend. But my brothers are taking mom on a cruise. There's actually 10 of them going. So it's not just my family, but family friends. They're all taking a cruise to Alaska. And this will be mom's first time on a cruise. Unfortunately, I'm not able to go because, well, they just chose a bad time for me to leave work. Actually, they just chose well, I shouldn't say a bad time for me to leave work. They just chose a bad time for me to go. And like I said, they didn't tell me they were going either, so. But I'm happy for mom because she is very excited. This is her first time. Well, actually, this is the first time for everyone, I think, in the whole group for them to visit Alaska. So it's yeah, she's really excited about it. There's, I think, altogether 10 of them. Yeah, 10 of them that are all going together. So it should be fun. But I'm going to be busy doing something else when they're on the cruise. So right, got that one. That one's done. Let me just sew some crumbs because I don't want to start another one. Well, maybe I should start another one. Okay, we're going to do the Sin Forest method. Normally, I don't iron my strings. I just leave it wrinkled, but I'm noticing it's kind of puckering if I don't have it flat. And some of these strings have been in here for decades, seems like. You see, like this got, oh, it's all shredded. Ugh. This is a skinny strip. Hey, don't follow. I'll deal with you later. And I will flip this over. Well, you know what? I'm going to just put these two together like that. Place it down. Put my sheet of paper right there. Somewhere on the fabric. Make sure they kind of line up. And we sew. Okay, that was a little off-centered, but you know what? It's a string block. I'm not going to care. Let's see. Hello, Miss Katie. That's the Greenland quilt there. Dollar Tree scissors are okay for use. To use on fusibles. Yep, that's yeah, well, fusibles tend to gunk up your scissors, so that's what I usually use Dollar Tree scissors for, and it does the job. It's been a while since I've done a string quilt. That might be something I show Mom how to do after she finishes the next quilt. I bet she'd love it. She probably would, Becca. Question, please. Do the Martinells... Oh, I think she's talking about the Martelli cutter take a special blade replacement. They say that you can use like a regular rotary blade. Like right now, this one is actually an OFA blade. As long as it's got the center, the hole is big enough, you should be okay. I know Martelli does have their own set of blades. And usually you can get, when I'm usually at a quilt show, you can get like a pack of 10 for a pretty decent price. So that's when I usually load up on them. But if I run out of them, I'll just go to Joann's or some quilt shop and just buy like a regular rotary blade just to replace it. Some people, I have heard that some people have gone to like hardware stores to get the 45 millimeter replacement blade in there, and it's a lot cheaper if you go that route. I don't know how long those blades last, but that'll be something I need to test. Haha, thank you for the idea. Yeah, and then Becca says that she knows a few folks that use generic blades in their Martellis. So Lori Clark says, I like the candy lei you made. I know it's spelt wrong. Good idea for Halloween candy. Lori, that's okay. We know what you mean. And speaking of which, yes, Mom did get her lei. She was very happy about it. And fortunately, the chocolate was not all melted. So she was very happy about that. Yeah, so Bar McKinley also says that yes, the Martelli rotary cutters can take the regular blades. I've watched every video and can't get the new blade in right. Okay. Can't spell partying. Okay. Let's see. Cool kids, not cookies. Autocorrect. It's been terrible to me lately. Oh. I'm doing fine, Miss Katie. How you doing? You're up late. Or is it early in the morning for you? I'm just trying to get my string bin down a little bit because I've been busy kind of squaring up quilts. Ooh, I forgot I had this. So I'm just working on some strings tonight. I was actually going to do another project, but I've kind of felt like I don't want to think so much tonight, so let's just sew some strings. It's the thing that I do when I don't want to think. Oh, wait, I gotta sew that completely off. I don't want to sew these two blocks together. Ah, the power of an industrial, or the speed of an industrial. Love that sound. Okay. Ooh, that's a very narrow strip there. And I will pull that thread off. And chop that off. And oh boy. This is going to be a very narrow strip in which some of this purple is probably going to get hidden inside the seam allowance, but, well, I should have thought about that. Let's see how it turns out, though. Maybe I'll just do a scant 1/4 inch. Cut this excess off. Ugh. You know, I need a wireless mic. It's hard to maneuver myself around this mic stand. Okay, I need a small piece for the corner here, so green it is. Let's cut this off. Oh, that little sliver of purple right there. Perfect. Although it just added a whole ton of bulk for no reason. And then I shall add the pink here. Okay, let me just sew on this strip for a second, and then we'll catch up with the comments. And I broke a thread. Oh boy. This time it was the bobbin. Yeah, one thing about industrial machines like this, there's a lot of thread snags. Well, partially because I'm using the wrong kind of thread from an industrial. Everyone that I spoke to that uses an industrial machine like this, they say that quilting cotton, like I'm using an Aurifil, both in the bobbin and the top thread. And if you go too fast or if you catch it at the wrong speed, the threads will snag. Whoops. Just one of those things, but you know, you kind of get used to it and you start sewing at a moderate pace. Jackie is saying that the carpet rotary blades, the one that I was referring to at the hardware store, they last a long time. So I shall try that as an experiment. Because I hear a lot of quilters talking about that. Whoops, sorry. Camera went off again. Okay, now. Okay, let me iron this one and let's start trimming. Okay, so I got 4 of them made. I said I was going to make 4. Let's trim. So to trim this, these are 6.5 inches, by the way, which is what I usually use on a string. And I do 6.5 inches because I have a 6.5 inch ruler, so it just makes it very easy to trim. Whoops, I kind of cut the paper there. Whoop. That's okay. It's just paper. And trim that side. And I cut the corner there. So, oh, rotate it. I like that this rotary or rotating mat is small, but it's a little too small. Maybe I need a bigger one. Can I salvage any of these pieces? And yep, rip that. Ugh. Rip that. And I will rip this one off. And I like this blue, so I'll take that. Take that. I'm throwing it in the crumb bin for another rainy day of sewing. These I can scrap. And there you have it. Half square triangle string block. I don't know if that's what it's officially called, but I'm calling it that anyway. There's one. Okay, the paper ripped on that one, so I just have to kind of go with the gut feeling and measure it. Trim. Trim. Oh. Didn't quite cut the corner there, so I will reline it up and trim. There's number 2. Oh, that corner. There's another one. Whoops. And again, I will rip off some of these crumb pieces. There's number 2. What in the Sam Hill is going on with my keyboard? Uh-oh. You kind of sound like me there, Sinforest. Trim that. I shall trim that. Trim there. Okay, I'm going to pull the mat a little bit so I can get a clean cut. And I'll just realign it here. Oh, I need to cut a little bit more there. Nope, didn't catch it, so there. Now I can get a clean cut here. Another one there. I'll rip this. Rip this. I like this blue, so I'm going to keep that. The rest of this can go in my little scrap pile of trash. One more. Da-da-da-da. Okay. And pull it down a little bit, realign it, cut the rest of it off there. There. Oh. And I will realign this. Cut that. Okay. And I will finish the other block later. So, here we go. So there's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and there's 4. And if in case you are wondering, you could actually use these string blocks, exactly like how you would lay out a half square triangle. So here I can do a pinwheel design like that. Or I could do something like that. Maybe a flying geese. So all sorts of things that you can do. But we shall see what I create with these. Okay, so let me get back to some of the comments because I see the things scrolling around. Okay. So let me scroll back up. Oh boy. Well. Hello, Miss Tiffany. You're up late too. Oh snap! I just seen you're on. Hi, Miss Tiffany. Let's see. Oh snap! It's Tiffany. That's Becca. And Sinforce says, "See, I told you guys this is where all the cookies hang out." Late at night. I guess all of us are zombies. Lori Clark says, "All we need is Ian and all the gang is here." And nobody can sleep, I guess. We're all wide awake tonight, so okay. I guess I chose a good night to actually do a live. Jackie says, oh, read that one. She was talking about the carpet rotary cutters or carpet rotary blades. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just kind of scrolling through the chat, kind of catching up with all the discussion going on. Lori Clark says it's a long weekend here in Canada. I was watching another live earlier today. Is it what did they call it? The Queen's Holiday or something? And Tiffany's asking, do you want to come sew my string bin next? Tiffany, I will take your string bin. I won't sew it for you. I'll take it. Don't be surprised if it's missing the next time I visit. Let's just say that. Pina coladas tomorrow while we open the pool. Ooh. Lori, I think the last red eye leaves here at 11 p.m., so don't be surprised if I show up. I need a pina colada. If you like pina colada and a little champagne. Is that the... Wait. I forget how the song goes. We call them LCP, Little Computer People. Most time dating myself that way was way back in the dues. We still call them LCP. Actually, in our office, we do use that term to describe our IT people. Oh boy, am I showing my age. DOS. Oh my gosh, that's dinosaur days. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know, I was actually coding something in DOS just the other day. Not that I knew what I was coding, but I was looking at something in DOS. That's for those of you who don't know what that is, before Microsoft came on board, that was what your computer ran on. But anyway, I don't want to geek out on you for that. Lori Clark is asking me, Eric, what is your favorite sewing gadget? Right now, my favorite sewing gadget has been this needle threader because it's been a lifesaver. And I forgot that I had this, and I found it because I'm kind of cleaning up my crafting space here. And you know, when you clean up or when you do any kind of cleanup, you find stuff that you forgot you had. So I did find this. Forgot what these are called, but it is a needle threader. I got this from a Sew Sampler quilt box years ago. And yeah, I just forgot that I had it, but when I found it, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is going to save me for all the thread breaks and needle threadings that I have to do. So I love it right now. Kim says, I had a very small glass of wine earlier, and apparently the leprechaun thought they just helped themselves. Sneaky. Kim. Cheers. Virtually. Let's see. Okay, it's midnight in where Jim is. And it's 1 a.m. where Lori Clark is. I'm usually in bed by 2, just a late start sewing. Okay. Victoria Day here on Monday, so it's a long weekend. That's what they call it. That's, yeah. That's a holiday in Canada. I rely on the hummingbird threader. That's Tiffany. And it's 4 a.m. in Greenland, where Katie is. Okay. Well, sad to say, I know some of you can't sleep, but I need to actually get working on a different project for a future video coming up. And you guys gave me some inspiration on certain videos that I should be doing as part of the new series that I was sort of started and then kind of dropped the ball because I got busy at work. But I want to say thank you guys for joining me here tonight. It's been fun just sewing and chatting and discussing some things. I'll stay on for a minute or so just to see if there's any last minute questions. I imagine that nobody would have. Some things coming up. I am going to be on live. Of course, I say this now, but knock on cutting board that all goes well. I am planning to be on live on Tuesday night. However, I will not be on live next Saturday. So hopefully I do have a trip or an outing planned in which you might get a preview of that video. We'll see, because I had a crazy idea for something. Don't forget to let's see. Don't forget that within the next couple of weeks, the next video for Miss Becca's traveling quilt is going to be out. I forgot who the next video is, but you can also go and check out Becca's channel to see. She has a playlist of all the previous videos. I will be coming up in November, and I believe Miss Tiffany will also be in December. So I don't know what I'm going to make, though. I still haven't thought about it. Anyway, it should be fun. And let's see. I also want to say thank you to those that joined on the Zoom. The previous, this past or last Saturday. This is the quilt that I'm working on that Zoom call. So if you guys want to join in, hey, send me an email message letting me know. Now, we are using our QCR mini ruler. Using this ruler from Sew Kinda Wonderful, and each of us are working on different blocks using the ruler. We are kind of using the accompanying pattern booklet, so if you guys want to join in, or even if you don't have this particular ruler, along with the pattern booklet. We do have a few people who have like a drunkard's path curved ruler template, so they're just kind of joining in sewing curves, and it's been quite fun actually. Just all chit-chatting on Zoom and sewing together. So yeah, come and join us on the next one, which will be in June. So okay, so a lot of people are saying good night. Good night, Miss Tiffany. Lori Clark says, I use my needle threader for cross stitch more than sewing. Okay. And you're welcome, Suzanne Taylor. She's saying, thank you for your time. Have a great rest of the weekend. You too. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live. Again, I want to say thank you guys for joining me. For some of you, I know it's really late. And for some of you, I know you can't sleep. And I'm leaving you now. So, yeah. Katie, the Greenland quilter, is saying Sinu Luarit. Okay, I guess that means goodbye. I hope I pronounced it right. All right, guys. Take care. Have a great Sunday. Sunday. It's already Sunday morning for you, some of you. But yeah, have a great rest of the week. Again, thank you for joining me here tonight. And you all know what I'm going to say, so let's say it together. Let's all get out there and let's create something. Mwah. Bye for now.